All right, man. What up? Welcome back to Agree to Disagree. And if you're new, welcome to Agree to Disagree. My boy Jay Lloyd, Craig, DD, and we got Pops. All right, man. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna go rapid fire. A lot has happened in the basketball world just in this last week, man. Some stuff that just too much stuff is going on to where we can't just make it a single topic, or we'll have a bunch of videos. So we're gonna do a rapid fire to kind of clear the air about all the basketball stuff going on. So without further ado, let's get into it, man.
Um, my blue and red, because I don't have my signs as no. And the blue and red is just the Clippers are out of the playoffs, so I don't think they have a say so. So that's why it's no. So these are my no, the red, blue. So they don't have a say so in this. So that's when I raise these up. Y'all know what it means. No.
Celtics in 7. What? What you got, Jay? Why, yes, Pops.
I just think that at the end of the day, I mean, both teams, what I like about this series, both teams have, we say this a lot, but both teams, they got some dogs on there, man. I mean, both teams really got, Hero and Duncan Robinson and with Butler, and the Butler got them dudes believing. I mean, I'm going to give Jimmy props, man. He got them dudes believing. And that's hard. What really makes it, that's when you look at Jimmy and you look at the Heat, you really go like, hey, man, this dude really made a good decision going to Miami. Because the way he really got them believing.
Could have went anywhere.
Yeah. And now, and you look at Boston, who has the pieces to do it. Now it's just a matter of we've been talking about these dudes the last 2 years, hey man, y'all gotta come on and make that turn. And when it's time to make that turn, they don't look like they're ready because they done ran into Jimmy. But they got some dogs. I think with Hayward coming back, that's really big for them. That's really, he may not be scoring, but he really can settle them down. And you can see he knows what Brad likes to do, so that kind of helps. But I think I think both ways. I mean, Boston, man, but they got to put it together. And there's some guys and I think that meeting probably is going to help them. I really do. But Boston is 7, man.
Why you disagree, Craig?
Before I thought Boston would take the series, but I'm gonna make a bold statement. There's nobody that deserves to go to the finals more than the Heat. For who they knocked off, how good Spoelstra's coaching, what Jimmy Butler's bringing to the table, and people gotta give Dragic some credit as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude, he's a straight killer. I mean, as a point guard, I mean, they definitely overachieved, but I think they kind of found themselves. They created an identity that's going to make a win. And when they went up 2-0, I thought it was over. They go up 3-1, it's definitely over. I think Boston has the talent, but right now it's hard to, Miami has that championship magic right now where they're firing on all cylinders. They got chemistry, they got leadership. So it's hard to bet against them after being up 2-1.
Yeah, when not personnel wise, but like Craig said, that magic just for the playoffs, they remind me of that 04 Detroit team. Remind me of that Pistons team for sure.
That's a good one. I
don't know if I heard one of y'all say it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's who they remind me of a lot.
Yeah, that's a
why Celtics in 7, B?
I think, same thing Pop said. And I agree with
Same
Craig.
dude that said Jimmy Butler was that dude, man.
I know he is that dude. And I'm saying, I agree with everything Craig said. I think, it's going to be one of those heavyweight fights, man. I think it's going to be like those old school, Eastern Conference, like Heat, Knicks and all that stuff, Chicago Knicks and stuff. But I think I'm still betting on Kemba figuring it out. And I think if it goes 2-2 on Wednesday, not that the Heat are worried about pressure or they fold, but I think that it becomes a little bit more of how Boston was too. Like they're yelling in the locker room. If you think about it too, man, the first two games Boston had leads, they just couldn't close it out. So, but I could go either way, saying they don't know how to close out games. But I think getting the third one obviously was huge and it was a must win. But I think they come out like Pop said, they got Hayward now. It kind of settles them down, that veteran presence. Granted, he's never been that deep in the playoffs before, but I think it's going to go 7, and I'm banking in on their 3, Tatum, Brown, and Kemba figuring it out. So, but I said it in the first round. I think Butler's a dog, but I still give the slight edge to the Celtics.
Yeah, and before you go, Jay, tell me if you agree. In close games, I worry about Boston. Not that they don't have the personnel, just based off that game 2, what happened game 2. They got some egos over there, man. They got some egos. And if that game gets down to a close game, especially in the game 7, like, are they gonna trust? Like, are we sure they're gonna trust? I just like Spo better than Brad Stevens in that situation, just because I know Spo has his guys believing in what he does, and they're going to make the right play. With Boston, I'm not really sure, man. I'm not sure. Jaylen Brown get that ball and is supposed to swing it to Tatum. If he got an inch of light, he's shooting that thing. So I just question
They played the right way in Game 7 against Toronto, though.
Say what?
Like I said, they played that way in Game 7 against Toronto. Like,
that's true.
I get what you're saying. Like, I totally understand it, but I just feel like if it's – no, I guess you're right. I mean, if it's really about winning, he's going to swing that thing. It'll be tough. But
I'm not saying for sure. I'm just saying if it's a Game 7,
I
have to go with who's going to execute without a problem. I gotta go with Miami, man. Go ahead, Jay.
I mean, I think you said it all. I'm going to go at it a different way. I just think Miami has a different level of mental toughness that we haven't really talked about yet. And I think that to me is just from Miami and Boston. I think Boston has the better roster. I think Boston has the better talent. I even think, Brad Stevens is right there with Spo as a coach. I just feel like that Miami Heat culture is just different. Like their physicality, their mental toughness is different. That's what I'm more concerned with in the Game 7. Just when that game is close, those loose balls, those extra rebounds, those gritty, like 50-50 balls in those plays, I just feel like Miami are going to get those plays. If it becomes a game of skill, Boston's fine. But as y'all know, the playoffs, the game slows down. It gets real choppy. And I think that plays into Miami.
Sure.
Go ahead, B.
Real quick, do you guys think obviously the Heat culture, like you just said, Jared, to your point right now, but do you think it has to be with Jimmy being that guy? He's shown he could do it. He works harder than anybody on that team. And they have young guys that still want to prove it. So they listen more instead of like how John said, you have Marcus Smart. Yeah, he's going to be yelling at you. But then you got Tatum and Jalen's ego. Like, well, I could get mine. Like, I don't really need you. You know what I mean? Do you think that has a lot to do with why the Heat could win it?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, bro. It's funny you asked me that, BG, because I did a lot of research on the Heat. And they've been the same since Pat Riley's been there. Like, they practice different. Their conditioning tests, their preseason workouts, everything's different in Miami. I just think they haven't won because they don't have enough talent. So I think if you put Jimmy Butler with that mentality, now you have another guy that can give you some. They have no talent, but every time they've had talent,
they got pieces this year.
Yeah, they had Alonzo back in the day with Tim Hardaway. They had talent. They just lost to Mike. You know what I'm saying? They got D Wade. When they got Shaq, they had talent. When they have talent, they're competitive. It's just they have those years where they're not gonna mortgage their team. They're gonna stay in that salary cap. Yeah, but they just never can get over the hump because they don't have enough talent. But now with Jimmy Butler, you have the right guy too. That he can get 9 points, he's good. He can get 35, he's good, and that fits their culture.
I think he's the only one, like you said, he's the only one that doesn't care if he drops more than 30. Like as long as they
Right.
win. A lot of people will say that, but
He don't care.
he don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
He a winner for sure. He about that winner.
Yeah.
But here's what I like about it. I mean, even though I'm still picking Boston, with Jimmy, like you said, now we get on other superstars about making the right play, but if Jimmy drives and he kicks to a Duncan Robinson or a hero or whatever, and they hit the shot, that's Jimmy. You know, that's just, it's like because they believe and he believes in his team. But I'll go a little deeper with that with Jimmy. Think about this. Jimmy's with the Timberwolves and Philly, right? Am I right, Ron? Now, everybody thought his attitude and his bravado was so, like, over the top. Well, if it was so over the top, why did both of them coaches get fired? Think about that. If they would have kept Jimmy, especially Philly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know either. Miami, I get that. But I don't know what Philly was thinking about picking Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. That just no. And with Boston, you can see that Tatum's kind of the man, but we all hoop. We know when cats really ain't feeling that. You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to get my 20.
You know, instead of it's okay to be Robin, and it's okay. I mean, let that man do what he do, because you can see it's on him, and he's not scared of it. But I mean, come on, man. I mean, they got, and that's something they got to work through. And Kemba being a veteran, Kemba should know that. Like, man, let's get this boy the ball and get him up. But why? Kemba's trying to get his bucket, and he's trying to.
That's all he know, man.
He's not trying to give and that's the problem, man. Jimmy, even though he's the man, but if Jimmy kicks it out to a Duncan Robinson or a Tyler Hero or whatever for a three, we ain't tripping because they believe in each other. That's that. No. But Boston is saying.
Gotcha. Tripping on that one, though.
No.
I agree, Pop.
I might be.
Jay almost switched my. Yeah, I was like, man,
but I'm gonna take this one.
All right, man.
Pops. Celtics
All right.
70.
All right. We'll stay. It's relatable. Just because the Miami Heat just played them, number one team in the East, home of the two-time MVP, back-to-back MVP. In fact, Giannis should lead the Bucks.
Ooh, good one.
Gotta get out of there, man. Gotta get out of there. Go ahead, Craig.
First of all, I think it's good for basketball if he stays as a fan.
Why does he got to be the guy to stay, though?
Why not? Why not? If you've been there, you had a competitive team. It is not like he's been there his whole career and they stunk. They made good runs in the playoffs. Me and you were just talking about how deep they were a couple weeks ago. I just think they're a couple of pieces away from making it. But like I said, man, next year the NBA, everybody's gonna get better. But I just don't. Where's he gonna go? I mean, I just think that he's in a good. Like my thing is, if you already have great, sometimes you don't try to go get better. You know what I mean? I think he's in too good of a situation now to try to go get better. And if wherever he goes, it's going to be a super team, in my opinion, because he's already on a good team.
I don't know. I like Miami. I think he fits really well in Miami. Playing alongside Bam too. That would be one of the best defensive teams. Like
longest teams too.
Yeah, like that. And it's one of those things where it's like, dang, are they even a super team on paper? You know what I'm saying? Because the only other all-star there is Jimmy Butler, and Bam, he'll be all-star next year. But I would say Miami. But go ahead, Jay. Why yes?
I agree with you. I feel like we're talking about his legacy.
Hmm?
He's not going to do it in Milwaukee. You know, he's going to be those guys that we talked about again, multiple MVPs. He's better than James Harden, but you could say it similar, like a James Harden who has the individual accolades but never won. You know, like never won. So I think he's going to have to look at what matters to him. Is it going to matter to continue to get all these individual awards and accolades and still get bounced out of the first, second round every year? Because I just don't feel like they're going to get enough. And Milwaukee's a tough destination, y'all. Like a lot of free agents, they look at where they live in. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's social media now. And it's not even about your brand. I think it's more about where you want to live. And Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to me, is not an ideal. LeBron had that problem in Cleveland. Like, no one wanted to go to Cleveland. So now you're talking about going to Milwaukee. So I think it's going to be a tough sell for him to get people to go that can help him get over the top. So I think at some point he's going to leave, and especially the way that they've been losing. I think he feels like, you know, he doesn't have enough. I mean, I heard he unfollowed all of his Bucks teammates. I don't know if that's true or not, but I heard
and
that,
actual
you know,
Bucks too.
Yeah, but he came out on Twitter
actual...
and he came out on Twitter tweeting that he's gonna be there and run through the wall.
Yeah.
You know,
he said he'll play his contract out.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Hey, Milwaukee, I better trade him.
Hey, and off business. See, I think he should at least play it out, play the contract out, and see what happens before he does that. You know.
I think Milwaukee should trade him.
My only thing is.
Go ahead. No, I didn't know you were done. Go ahead.
No, one quick point. I just think that what we saw this year, like sometimes you take a big risk when you leave, and you have you're in a solid situation because you have to. Hopefully, you have chemistry, and it's more pressure going to another team than having a star player join your team. Yeah, and I think this year we saw that, so that's one thing I think he should look out for as well.
I think that's a little different because he's never been there. And last year when he lost the same way he lost this year. It's different when you're coming off a championship team and you prove that it could be done and then you leave. I think that's in Kawhi's situation. Giannis' situation, don't really know if it can be done. They lost the same way 2 times. 4 straight? Was it 4 straight? No. They won 1 game, huh?
They won
and then lost the other. Yeah. And then last year they lost 4 straight. I just don't think he got enough, man. And like Jay said, who wants to come play in Milwaukee? If he's not giving me 30 and 15 and 6 assists every night, like, can they win? Because I don't know if Chris Middleton's that guy. I'll say yet. I hope he can help Giannis out. But I don't think he's that guy. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, I think he should get out because it's either you get paid, you want to get paid, or you want to go win a championship. And I don't think he's going to win a championship. Like, he's going to get paid regardless, but obviously the NBA, you know, however the bargaining works is you get paid more if you stay with your hometown team, right? The team that drafted you.
Yeah.
So, but I just
paid regardless, like you said, yep.
No, he's gonna get paid, but it's like, you know, do you want to get paid and lose and, you know, get there and lose, or do you want to go team up? Like, look at all the teams that everybody has 2 superstars. He's not. You just said it. Middleton is not a superstar. He's a great player, but he's not. You need somebody else. Like, I mean, like I said, I know I always give LeBron crap and give him, you know, like, oh, he always needed help, but that's just how the NBA is now. You need, and it's always been like that. You always need somebody. But the way it is now is like 2 superstars, 3 superstars. Like, I mean,
this
Damian
era
Lillard
is different, man. Yeah.
Damian Lillard is the only one saying, you know, I'm willing to stay, but I think people would rather go play in Portland than they would, like Jay said, to Milwaukee. You know what I mean? So I think he should get out of there. Craig, I'm with you though. I think, you know, he should stick around. You know, it'll be cool to see like a city like Milwaukee win one, but it's unless somebody, you said somebody wants to go live there, it's just not going to happen. So either stay home and get paid, or you go team up with somebody else, or beg somebody to come play with you. So.
Go ahead, Pops.
He needs to stay, man. He needs to stay. It's just point blank. He needs to stay because if he leaves, and I'm gonna throw this out there, because wherever he goes, it's gonna be a super team. If he leaves, he's gonna be like KD. That's what's gonna happen. That's how they're gonna compare him. Because what needs to happen. What needs to happen? Here's what Milwaukee made 2 big mistakes. He will be no, because Giannis, man, you're a back-to-back MVP to go join a super team. That's gonna look bad. Now, you're the MVP of the league. What the mistake that Boston made? This is a mistake that Boston made. And my son, we talked about that. They should have kept Brogdon. That was a big loss for them. And Mirotic went back overseas. That's where they made their mistake. Now with Boston, with Milwaukee, you have to understand is this like you paid Middleton like a superstar. You paid him like playoff P. You paid him. But there are guys on that team that need to earn. Eric Bledsoe as one. You got to figure out, and then here again, Giannis is Giannis blamed when they get kicked out. But who else stepped up in there? Nobody. Middleton
Pops, I got a question, Pops.
Yeah.
So would he be more like KD or would he be more like LeBron?
No, he's back to back. No, he's back to back. He's back to back. Hold on. This one makes it worse.
Wait. So LeBron didn't win back-to-back MVPs?
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, he did. 09 and 010. 09 and 10.
He went to the battle 9 times.
09 and 10. Back-to-back MVPs and left.
He went 9 times. You talking about you going to put a back-to-back MVP and defensive player of the year, and I'm going to leave and join another team.
Hey, according to LeBron, he should have did that too.
I get what you guys are saying, but his road to the finals is easier in the East than it's going to be in the West. But what if he joins Golden State?
I don't think he should go to. I think if he leaves, he should go to Miami.
Yeah, I don't think
he goes to Golden State. I think he should go to Miami. Giannis, go to Miami.
What about Portland?
He needs to go.
Portland, Craig. I agree with Portland,
I
Craig.
don't like Portland.
No.
At first I did, but no.
I think that situation is good because it's not. You got one other player. It's a good fit. Make that work instead of going to a Golden State or to Boston. You know what I mean?
I just think Miami fits more of who Giannis is and how he plays. Like he's a grit and grinder. Like them boys ain't playing no D over there, man. They ain't playing no D over there.
Back to back.
Yeah, and left.
That's a really.
So I was like, is that more KD or more LeBron?
Okay, so now we got to understand that. So what we're saying is Giannis is not a leader. Is that what we're going to say?
I wouldn't say he's a follower, but I'm not going to say he's a leader.
He got to be one.
You don't think Giannis and think leader out of the top of your head?
Yeah. I mean, he's more of that. I'm gonna play hard and kind of show. I think he tries to be a leader, but in terms of vocally and like leading, I don't think he's there yet.
He says all the right things.
Yeah, I don't think he's there yet.
So I win. Yeah.
And that's what guys got to stop doing. I am tired of this. Man, just call somebody out. Quit tripping. Just call somebody out. It ain't no hurt. In Middleton, you got paid like a robin. Hey, man, step up. What's wrong? Bledsoe, step up. You guys got paid. So just step up. Quit all this.
I think they're the only team that never got going in the bubble, too, though. If you really look back at the regular season games, and Craig always brought it up, like, when the bubble started, we had the episode, like, Craig was the main one saying, like, you just don't know who's going to be good in the bubble because it's just so different. And you look back, I think they went, like, 3-4. 2 and or what I don't know what they went, but they just never got going.
And then what makes it worse, the owner says, "Hey, if you just stay, we're going to get you some help." Now you're going to get me some help knowing that I may leave? What happened to the help me? So if I'm a player on that team and the owner just said that, then go ahead and get rid of me. Trade me. Because all of a sudden, what you just said, I'm not it. So it said, oh, we're going to go over the luxury tax. Now you're going to go? Why you didn't go ahead and go all in this year?
See, I don't agree that he didn't have enough help. I mean, he had a good team, but people forgot about that till they started losing. You know what I mean? You got to realize, man, they were second. They had the second best odds to win the NBA championship this year.
Man, they were number one in everything. Everything.
That's what my only argument is. We're assuming that he's going to leave next season. and that if you went to Miami, Jimmy Butler's going to be there next season, blah blah blah, and the team's going to be the way they are now. But to me, it's just, you know, how much of a better situation can you have? I felt like Milwaukee had a pretty deep team. I
think that's winning cures everything.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. And I'm just saying that being a Lakers fan, become okay. They got to face, if the Lakers got to face them in the playoffs, I always felt like they had more depth and a better team than the Lakers.
Yeah,
you know,
I have the Bucks coming out.
Yeah. You know, so that's my honest. To me, it's just hard to say when the Bucks are playing good. We're like, man, they're deep. I mean, they won 10 deep. I mean, they got a good team. It's just, you know, if you're looking for that one guy and you overpaid, you know, Robin, I think they still got enough to work with to make some noise. But like I said, everybody's getting better going into next year.
The Warriors are going to be a problem too, man.
Let's just go hypothetically, because we talk about when he becomes a free agent. What if he says, no, I'm going to go play for the Lakers with LeBron and AD? Will we still respect him?
I mean,
Why not?
He'll be a champion.
He'll be
a champion.
That's what KD says. You guys see his interview?
That'll be like KD going to the
That's what I'm saying. Hey, man, the Lakers are holding on to his brother for a reason. Remember his brother, his younger brother over there.
They have him on the active roster too.
Exactly.
Wear that jersey. See how your name's gonna look.